Jonathan Horowitz, 14 years old, makes his national TV debut calling the AQHA Challenge Championship.
Bell rings, gates open, the field of 11 is on its way. A wonderful start for Miss Easy Blitz, now joined by the Thinking Man. Down at the rail, we have the Great April Storm as horses race through the stretch. And it's Miss Easy Blitz with the leaders. Dashing Thunder flying on the outside. The Thinking Man right there. The Thinking Man. And Dashing Thunder split the line in the 1999 AQHYA Stakes.
At 14 years old, Jonathan Horowitz got his first time to call a parimutuel race, and he was amazing. Welcome back to Race Day America. Zoe Cadman, Peter Lurie with you. HRTV going to be doing something very special coming up this weekend. The first time we will be showing races from Arapahoe Park in Colorado with the Arapahoe Park Classic on Saturday and the Gold Rush Futurity on Sunday. Joining us, a good friend of the show, will be calling the race, our good friend, track announcer Jonathan Horowitz. Jonathan, as always, welcome back to Race Day.
Hi, Peter. Hi, Zoe. It's a pleasure to join you this morning.
Jonathan, you sound like your voice may have dropped just a few octaves since you were 14, right?
You know, my voice has changed. I've grown a little. I think I've become better looking, but I'll leave that up to you to decide.
So it took you since you were 14 to finally get it together as a track announcer. How sad. John, you do a great job. We've had a chance to hang out a couple times down at Del Mar. What possessed you, first of all, to get out to Colorado, Arapahoe Park, maybe a track a lot of people have not had a chance to go to, but going to have a huge weekend coming up this Saturday and Sunday?
Absolutely. This is the biggest weekend that Arapahoe Park has ever hosted, and top to bottom, the Arapahoe Park Classic is probably the strongest race that has ever been run at Arapahoe Park, and I've been the announcer at Arapahoe since I graduated with my master's degree from University of Maryland in 2011, and I've taken a lot of pride in being part of the racetrack's growth, and it really is all going to be on display this weekend, and very excited to have HRTV showcasing our races as well.
Get Happy Mister is going to go forward as the likely favorite. He's won 4 in a row. He is the local horse. Do you think there's anyone that could maybe throw a spanner in the works?
I think that this is going to be the race that will define Get Happy Mister's legacy in Colorado. He's never lost in Colorado. He's never been challenged at Arapahoe Park. He's won all 8 of his races here by an average of about 6 lengths each, and watching him just cruise in his most recent victory in the Mount Elbert Stakes, he wasn't challenged at all, but this is going to be the toughest race he's ever had because there's a real strong group of shippers, stakes winners from around the country and ground transport, Called to Serve, Lead 'em in Ken, and so if Get Happy Mister can win this race, I think he'll go down as the best Colorado bred ever.
Ground transport obviously at 3-1. Lead 'em in Ken for the Ramseys at 9-2. When athletes come into the Mile High City, more importantly, we're playing at Colorado for the Rockies, or if they're playing against the Broncos, sometimes it can be quite an adjustment because of the atmosphere going up a mile high. Is it the same with the horses? If so, have many of these horses gotten in early because of it?
I've talked to some trainers about whether there's an altitude effect with horses, and what I've been told is that if you ship in and run right away, then the altitude won't have a pronounced effect. But if you're at altitude for about a week, then the altitude starts to kick in, and then you need a few weeks to really get acclimated. So if you come in and run right away, you'll be fine. But then once you're based here, it'll take a little bit of time to acclimate. So with our shippers getting in right before the race, they'll have as good a chance at altitude as they do at their home track.
That's great information. Sunday, race 10 will be the 6-furlong Gold Rush Futurity for 2-year-olds. How do you see this race playing out, Jonathan?
This race turned up very strong, and similar to the Arapahoe Park Classic, it's going to be the really good local horses led by Sky T. He's won both of his career races by a combined 22 lengths. going up against a good group of shippers, and Bessie's boy from the Wesley Ward stable. Wesley Ward, he ships all over the world. He's won at Royal Ascot, and it's great to see him bring a horse to Arapahoe. And Bessie's boy, having won the Tremont so impressively at Belmont, will need to improve off of what was probably a disappointing effort with Frankie Dettori aboard in the Sanford. But I think off of that big win in a $100,000 race, he's probably the horse to beat, but then again, it'll be a matter of how the local horses can hold their own against these good group of shippers.
Saw Abel Lescano coming in from New York on Bessie's boy for Wesley Ward, but as you mentioned, the local riders, I would think, as always, might have a little bit of advantage. Mike Ziegler, the veteran rider, I remember him for years over in Arizona, obviously at Canterbury. Does he dominate? I know he doesn't ride as much as he used to, but does he still dominate when he's in the race?
Mike Ziegler, he picks his spots, and when he's on a stakes horse, he's dominated our stakes races this year. He's been aboard Get Happy Mr. for multiple stakes races this season. He's been aboard a good mare named Lady Gila, who's won 2 stakes races this season. He's a fantastic rider, a real top-class person as well, and I know he'll be on your show tomorrow. And he says that in 26 years of riding, Get Happy Mister's the best horse he's ever ridden, and it's exciting that it all comes together in probably the biggest race that Get Happy Mister will have ever run in tomorrow.
Well, Jonathan, we should tell also our viewers that not only these 2 races, but there is a fair amount of racing, not only for the thoroughbreds, but the quarter horse. A lot of stakes action from cover to cover. Here's an opportunity to maybe give everyone around the country an idea of what they can expect this weekend.
Unbelievable with the thoroughbred stakes races, a big quarter horse Futurity and Derby, 2 graded Arabian races. Like I said at the beginning, this is the biggest weekend Arapahoe Park has ever hosted, and hopefully after this season we'll just be able to continue the momentum into next year, and things will get bigger and bigger. And I heard you planning next year's weekend trip with Alyssa Ali to Arlington, and then hopefully you'll get on a plane right after the Million and come to Denver for our big races.
What about me?
Of course
I'm talking to both of you.
Kim, my lady Kim's got her brother and kids. His kids actually live up there, so this would be a great opportunity to come on up. I would love to. I remember the old Centennial Park, so this has got to be some fun for all the folks out there in the Denver area, outlined areas. Jonathan, thank you so much. Remember, it's 3 o'clock East Coast, 12 o'clock first post, closing weekend at Arapahoe Park. For more information, visit MiHi, that's MIHI Racing.com. Click on the HRTV banner. They'll get you taken care of. Jonathan, it's always a pleasure. Don't be a stranger. We expect to see you in Southern California real soon.
Absolutely. Look forward to seeing you next time I'm in SoCal.
All right. Jonathan Horowitz, track announcer over there. I get a big laugh every time I see him at 14 years old with that really high-pitched voice calling that race, and I thought flawlessly over at Los Al.
Really, really good there. Do you think he stole the bow tie from Scotty, or maybe Scotty's taking his cue?
I think he's the trendsetter, and I think everybody else, after he sets the
Follows.
standard. Yeah, pretty much. Never see me in a bow tie. Sorry.
Why not?
Just can't do it.
Why?
Makes me think of the senator, Mr. Simon. Can't do it. Sorry.